Hey guys, and welcome back to Tome Time Tea. This is your host, C.T. Russell, here with a hyped book review. After seeing the trailer for the upcoming movie adaptation, I decided I had to pick up Ready Player One, and I'm really glad I did. I'll go into my normal, spoiler-free blurb in a second, but first I wanted to discuss an interesting factoid related to this book. Ready Player One is unique in that it is difficult to decide if it is a young adult book or an adult book. One argument normally used to classify YA is the age of the protagonist. The main hero, Wade Watts, is 18 in his senior year of high school. So by that definition, it's YA, right? Well, not exactly. YA isn't just a genre, it's also a marketing tool, used to classify what age group the marketing team should be focused on. It is common practice to market the book to the people close in age to the characters. However, there's a lot of references the older generation would understand and find entertaining. So in that way, the book should be marketed more for adults. Given its interesting in-between, it could be marketed for a wider range than most books. I really hope I'm not the only one that found that interesting. Maybe I'm too much of a nerd. On to the blurb. In this world, the real world sucks. And I mean more than normal. Most people I know would say the real world sucks now. And it does. But I mean really sucks. In this world, people can't get jobs to support themselves. I mean, people can't find affordable housing. Wait. I mean, big companies use their power to take control of everything. Wait. Oh, just trust me. The world is worse off in this book. People find comfort in the most expansive MMO ever created, the Oasis. It's a game where people can actually put themselves into a fantastical world where anything can happen. There are areas filled with magic, areas filled with space travel. People can even get jobs working inside of Oasis. Heck, Wade Watts even goes to school in Oasis. It's a world where you can do anything and be anyone. I can't blame people for wanting to be there instead of real life. Wade Watts is a gunter, which stands for egg hunter. The creator of the Oasis, James Holliday, revealed when he died that he left an Easter egg in the game, a grand tradition in video games, and that the person who finds the Easter egg will inherit his massive fortune. In a world where many people struggle to eat, it's not surprising that many people dedicate their lives to finding this Easter egg. Most gunters believe clues for finding the eggs are hidden in James Holliday's interest. Since he grew up in the 80s and was obsessed with the decade, the 80s has a major comeback. Everything from the TV shows to the music to random cereal prizes. People go crazy over finding everything and knowing everything. Gunters prize themselves on having the most knowledge and the most skill related to retro video games. With all the 80s mania going on in the book, there are a lot of references. You can't turn the page without thinking something like, oh hey, there's Voltron. It makes for such a fun book. I didn't grow up in the 80s, but I did notice several of the references, and they all made me smile. It's so fun finding as many as possible. And to my understanding, people are still trying to find all of them. According to the author, not all have been found yet. Due to the subject matter being so dense in 80s references, the book often has to take a moment to explain what everything meant, which slowed down the pacing quite a bit in some areas. The exposition is also pretty long. Though I loved the explanation of James Holliday's will and testament, I didn't get really invested in the book until after the first 100 pages. There was a diverse and dynamic cast of characters, which was really fun to read about. It did remind me of the days where I played video games more often, and the people I would meet along the way. I don't want to go into too much detail about the characters because I feel like I'll accidentally give away some spoilers. I will say, the author is able to create a wide variety of characters for the reader to fall in love with, or, in some cases, love to hate. With the abundance of references and larger-than-life plot, I do have some concerns regarding the upcoming live adaptation. Just from the trailer, I can see they're going a little bit away from the events in the book. That being said, it could be visually spectacular. I guess only time will tell. Now for my tea recommendation. Gunpowder green tea. Why? because the name is cool and edgy like the book. But no, really, this book just screamed green tea to me. Perhaps because there were several references to Japanese culture in movies. The 80s was kind of the start of Japanese culture really influencing American pop culture. Some anime popularity exploded in the 90s, like Pokemon and Sailor Moon, but the 80s were when those seeds were planted with shows like Voltron and Gundam. Many movies referenced were highly influenced by anime and Japanese movies. For example, Star Wars was influenced by Japanese samurai movies. The Matrix drew heavily upon the anime Ghost in the Shell. Japan was in the middle of the surge of video game culture in the 80s, which led to the development of the major powerhouse, Nintendo. When Wade Watts is discussing the different categories of 80s culture that he's done expansive research in, he includes Japan as its own category. Gosh, after that long-winded explanation, I really hope gunpowder green tea is actually Japanese green tea. Oh, the name is cool, okay? Anyways, these are just my thoughts and feelings, and I would love to hear yours. Did you find the classification of this novel as fascinating as I do? Did you have fun reading all of the 80s references? What's your favorite anime? Mine is Kino's Journey. Did you like my tea recommendation? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.